Good Friday afternoon, evening.
Hey,
It's Friday. Finally Friday.
it's Friday. Imagine that.
And that's why we're back, because it's Friday. Should we sing the song? I don't think we should sing the Friday song.
I don't sing songs of any day.
Good. You're not even listening to the new Taylor Swift today? Is that on your list?
Who is Taylor Swift?
Exactly. Thank you. For anybody watching, yeah, I'm not that stupid, but sometimes pretty close. Martin, good to see you. Karen, good to see you as well. Hi, I'm Darren. This over here is Victor, and we are the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. That releases on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. We'll talk some more about that in just a minute. This week was Kubernetes week, literally, release week.
It's every week.
Well, not every week.
Unless it's AI.
Well, okay. And you know what? Let's see. I'm looking at my list. I have no AI this week. None. Can you believe it? Is it possible?
That's what AI impersonator would say.
Yeah. What's been weird for you this week? What's been going on? Normal stuff?
Normal panic mode. Panic mode is a normal mode. That's how it works.
That's yeah, I get it. Let's go ahead and get into today. Today may be a very short show because I think everybody's still on a KubeCon hangover. There's nothing going on. Minor things going on, but it's like, I mean, did you see much this week, just in general?
Nope.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
I rely on you to see things.
I know, but it can't always
That's why,
be.
of course, I haven't seen anything.
See anything. Okay. So this week's podcast episode was with Mike Saka from Wave Terminal, and we talked about Wave Terminal. Actually, his company name's great. Command Line Inc. Great company name, Mike. I was like,
It's a good name, yeah.
it's a great name. I wish I would have thought of that. But the project is Wave Terminal. Yes, project, not product. There will be a product at some point. Apache 2.0 licensed terminal. Big thing is being able to search history. Well, this is the big thing to me. Being able to search history across everything that you've ever typed. That's
That's that's actually very amazing for spoiled people like you and me who actually work on multiple computers, right?
well, even if it's not multiple computers, if I had messed up and actually used one terminal, just the base terminal, and then I used iTerm, I wouldn't have the history between those two, would I? I don't know. I hadn't thought about that.
No, I think that you would because it's
right, because it's still
like
Z shell.
ZSH,
Yeah, that's true.
Z shell history, yes.
Okay. Anyway, if you haven't listened to it, good episode. Apologize for the audio quality. I tried to clean up Mike's side a little bit. I got it as close as I could. It was still, it's like, I could have done better. But it had to ship. So we got it out the door. So again, that was episode 259. We're coming up on 260 next week. I can't believe it. We're approaching 300. I guess we're approaching 300. That'll be, I think, in January timeframe. Because it's now middle of April, past the middle of April. We're heading into May, and then it's summertime, right? And everybody goes disappearing again. By the way, I found out something today. You want to know what I found out?
What?
I was a community award winner for Jenkins this year.
Oh,
I
congrats.
was the most valuable advocate. So thanks to the Jenkins community for voting for me. I appreciate that.
Amazing.
It was interesting. Actually, I think I knew earlier this week, but then I forgot until this came out today. So this was CDCon was this week. So a lot of people, in fact, I saw Whitney was up at one of the, because it was the open source summit. That was the big umbrella. And then there were, I don't know how many cons underneath that. There were a lot. So anyway, thanks, Jenkins. That was cool. The other big news I saw this week was Loft, the crew behind vCluster, got $24 million in a Series A round. Money is starting to loosen up just a little. You're muted.
Until I read that article, I was sure that actually they're already Series A.
You thought?
Actually, that's pleasantly surprised, actually, how far they got through with only seed money.
Yep. One of our ex-colleagues is working there now that I'm aware of. There may be others, but one I can think of specifically. So next time we see y'all, you're buying Taco Bell. That's all I'm saying. vCluster is a big thing. What else did Loft have? Was it something besides vCluster too?
Yeah, the dev. Oh man, all tools are called the same. They all have a dev and pod in their name. I cannot remember.
Well, here.
I already complained that they need to come up with better names.
By product. Here we go. Let's look at that. DevSpace.
DevSpace. Yes, exactly. That's the last thing I know from them. Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at kiosk because I haven't heard of that. Let's see what it is. Multi-tenancy. Okay, that's the only thing there. Okay.
I mean, vCluster is the thing.
Is the thing, yeah.
The rest is, my interpretation of the rest is that, okay, we're trying to figure out what else we can do. It reminds me in a way of HashiCorp, right, in the past, when it was releasing products once or twice a year, right, until they figure out what is the market fit, which product actually sticks.
So again, congratulations to everybody at Loft. Don't spend it all in one place. Let's keep that in mind. Again, Kubernetes 1.3.0. Do you want to try the name, or do you want me to try it?
You try it. English is your native language, man.
Yeah, but this isn't an English word. I'm going to call it Uwubernetes. Uwubernetes. It's out. There's the logo. There's been a lot of
the most interesting part of this release is the logo.
Is the logo. I've seen lots of people complaining about the logo and getting all up in arms. It's like, it's a logo. It's not a big deal. Let's take a look at some of these because again, probably a short show today otherwise. I don't know. Stable. Volume manager? Okay. Is this just the typical, we're so stable now it just doesn't matter?
When I saw the release, I went through 3 stages. First was kind of, hey, yay, we got new release of Kubernetes, right? The second stage was, this is so boring. There is nothing truly interesting in that release. And then the third stage was, yeah, that's how it should be. Kubernetes is mature. Kind of like, it's not getting big things right out of nowhere.
That's, I don't know. Because I went through this whole stable side. I was like, okay, yeah. Pod scheduling readiness. That's actually pretty cool. That it's graduated. That's good. But then I read these others, it's like, okay. Not that they're bad, or it's just like, okay, right? That's what it is. Now, the betas are the different conversation, I think. Node log query, that's nice, because that's always a pain. CRD validation ratcheting. What the heck? Have you even looked at that? I don't know.
No idea.
Okay. Contextual logging, that sounds like a good thing. Make Kubernetes aware of the load balancer behavior.
Yeah, it's kind of tighter integration with external load balancers, mostly for, ingresses of the world.
Yeah, but gateway API, who cares, right? Is this to even matter anymore?
No, but the gateway API still uses service behind this load balancer service behind the scene, right?
Right.
It's that service is actually, when it's set to load balancer type, that's the one that, depending on the provider where you're running, it spins up external load balancer, configures it, and all the jazz, right?
That makes sense.
So it's something that nobody will, mostly vendors care about, right? Rather than end users.
Right. Let's look at the alphas. Speed up recursive SE Linux label change. Sure. Recursive read-only mounts. I think I'm going down your path. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Job success completion policy.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, because having more mechanism to decide what it means for a job to be successful, and depending on that whether to actually restart it or no, it's potentially interesting.
Traffic distribution for services. Okay, so here's all the graduateds. So we had 17 promoted to stable. Is there anything here that we care about?
I mean, the only thing I really care about in that list is cell
The cell
or
items?
CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean cell in general, right?
Right. Ooh, kubectl delete -I. Okay, that's good.
Oh, I
You
haven't
want
seen
that?
one.
You want that to be stable. Let's.
Yeah, I mean, I want I all 100% cases. In my case, it's kubectl delete -- file name, right?
Yeah.
Never kind of delete this specific resource.
Removed the security context deny admission plugin. Okay, good.
I'm telling you, boring. It's good.
Boring.
That's good.
So, much like usually they're a little bit earlier, but the sysdig, what's new in 130, came out this week as well. Actually, it was the 15th, so I had missed it. But so it was about a week before. Let's see what they were thinking. Memory swap support. Okay.
You know,
We're really
why I
reaching,
cannot
right?
write- you know, that's why I cannot write articles like this, right? Because if I wrote that article, it would be new Kubernetes is released. It's boring, and that's a good thing. Thank you so much. It
Right.
wouldn't reach even the size of a single paragraph, right?
Yeah, I was trying to. Okay, here's the cell. Here, let's see what they say about cell. Integration of cell for admission control introduces a dynamic method to enforce complex fine-grained policies directly through the Kubernetes API, enhancing both. Boy, that feels very AI to me. Enhancing both. Not that it's AI, but AI wrote it. And probably not. But anyway, both security and governance points. What's the big deal about cell to you, just in general?
I mean, policies are an important part of Kubernetes, and having it baked into Kubernetes is great. And to me, it's even greater that cell is becoming the language to do that. So I expect other third parties, right? Because everything ends up being third party in Kubernetes to start supporting cell, and then I don't have to learn 57 different languages to do stuff, right? Beyond whatever I'm using to generate YAML.
And I'm thanks, Aloha Kona. Uwu, so it's Uwubernetes. Uwubernetes. That's not much easier
Today
to
we
say.
learned something.
I did. Anime. Again, another thing that I don't know anything about. So cell, apps, pod failure, pod healthy, job success, CLI, anything in the CLI, custom profiles. Okay. Sub resource. Yeah. API server tracing. Well, that was stable. Okay. Metric cardinality. Dude, I just don't know. And this is a long post. I'm not going to go through the rest of it because I'm already falling asleep as I'm scrolling. Nothing personal to anybody at Sysdig. We know people at Sysdig too. It's like, it's boring. But that's a good thing, right? It's just
Exactly.
boring.
It's supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be uneventful. That's great. I mean, it's very clear that Kubernetes itself is stable and that it's up to... So most of those things are more geared towards enabling third parties to do something that they might have struggled with than anything else.
Okay. So anyway, 130's out. Now the race is on to see how quickly it shows up in the providers.
I mean, AWS now is the fastest one, right?
Yep. It's normally a month, I think, or so. So they were at 129. I wonder where Azure's at right now. Let's look. AKS versions. Because I don't know if they even made it supported. It looks like they have 129. Okay. Release calendar. Here we go.
There you go.
130. So May for GA or June for GA.
Yeah.
So 2 months ish.
Yeah, that's reasonable. 1 month afterwards as a preview, and then GA makes sense.
Well, time to start doing upgrade cycles. At least there's only 3 a year now. Just 3. 3 is a good number. One of the things is we talked about Azure, Microsoft Azure Radius was accepted into Sandbox. You remember what Radius was? How big of a deal is this to you? I mean, really, it's Dapper to me more than anything else, or not Dapper, but
I never made myself spend enough time to see the value in it. To be honest, I'm not saying there is no value. Just to be clear, I was never enthusiastic enough to dig deeper into it. I'm kind of more of a server side guy than client side, right?
I get it, but because I don't even remember it anymore. Cloud native or more than just Kubernetes? True. Okay. Developer operator, application, infrastructure recipes, cloud neutral, Dapper and Radius to better together. More about Radius. Okay. Well, another project in the quilt, I guess. So
Yeah, because we don't have enough projects in CNCF.
we need more, right? We need more. I think that's it for this one. One of our community members, I don't know if you saw this or not, Shift posted this over in the Slack community earlier this week or late last week. Did you know Nix can actually drive homebrew?
No idea. First time I hear whether to enable nix-darwin to.
Formula
Actually, I
taps.
did.
Okay.
I'm just forgetful. Yeah, I mean, I know I did not know directly, but I know indirectly because DevOps, which is the one I use to manage Nix packages, actually supports brew. So I could have only guessed that that's the direction.
I thought this was interesting because it's not just homebrew stuff, but Mac App Store apps as well. And container, I mean, so at this point, I basically need to rebuild all my machines, install Nix, and build it out from there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
exactly.
With this, it's like, it's silly not to.
Kind of like, you can have a general, the things that you always need, like, I don't know, VS Code or whatever you're using. And then add Nix to every single project for the thing specific to that project, and that's it. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but then I can use Nix to install VS Code for me.
Exactly. I haven't tried it though. I never got around that part, to be honest. In big part because on a fresh machine, if I ignore the things that I need for specific projects, which is a bunch of CLIs normally, I really need outside the common things. In my case would be probably like 5 things in total, right? Not so big that I need special help with it. It's Visual Studio Code. Macs already come with ZSH. I need all my ZSH on top of it. Git is already there, so nothing there, and I think that's it, right?
I think so too.
I mean, there are a couple of other things, but generally speaking, not much, right? Until I get into a project. And then when I get to a project, then all hell breaks loose, right?
Yeah. I'm just thinking through, maybe you need to do that part first, export all of that, and then build it again. Like, have a whole weekend to where basically you're just set up, tear down until you finally, okay, here's my gold Nix file. What's the file name called? I don't even remember the file name anymore. It's not a Nix file.
No, it's shell.nix.
Shell.nix.
Or nix.shell, one of those.
Yeah. So I've got a laptop I need to rebuild anyway because it's still running Ventura. So I might do this for that, just because. Why not?
Use DevBox, man.
Use DevOps instead?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because I know you did the video, but I didn't watch it. So you're talking about Microsoft DevBox, right? Which DevBox?
No, different. JetStack. Probably that one.
Or Jetify?
There we go.
This one.
Yeah, that one exactly. That's the one. And there is a mode like kind of local for a project, right? And there is I'm not sure what's the name, global mode or something like that. That's what you would. I'm not using it myself, but that's what you would use for general things like VS Code, right?
Okay. So you're saying because this makes
the
it easier.
reason why, because it's easier. Kind of like look at that example on the right side, right? And you can even kind of exactly what it is immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Google shell.nix example, right? And then it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, but I remember when I was doing the shell file, it wasn't that bad. But this makes sense.
Not that bad, but not
this.
Not this.
Okay, well.
And also, there are some things that are very convenient in the CLI. Like, for example, whenever I need a package, just DevBox search, something DevBox info to check whether that something is what you really want, because usually you have many results. DevBox add, and it goes to that file. You don't have to even see that file ever, right?
That's true. Okay. I guess I'll do it the easy way this time. I don't want to, but okay, I'll do it. Let's take a look at your video for this week, diving into workload APIs.
Yeah, that was kind of back to basics in a way. I felt like, hey, let's go through all the workload APIs, which would be, I don't know, 6, 7 of them, right? Starting from basics like pod, replica set, deployment, stateful set, what else? Jobs, cron jobs, probably a few others that I already forgot. It's kind of really going back to basics.
Is this leading back to something else? Is this our refoundation to go somewhere else?
No, not
really. This time?
I gave up on something else's. It's more like, hey, why not? Right?
Okay.
Every once in a while. So the real story behind it is that every once in a while, I tend to go through the documentation of the things I do on daily basis just to see what I'm missing, right? Because you learn how to do something and then you're doing it on daily basis, and it's very easy to kind of just use that muscle that you generated without really going back and double checking what changed since you developed that muscle, right? Now, TLDR, not much changed. But I do that anyway, so I thought, hey, why not then record it in a way?
That sounds good. I mean, it's going back to the basics helps every once in a while.
Yeah.
What was the... I don't remember.
And the reception was good, kind of like, I always... the audience on the channel, I believe, is somehow more senior and stuff like that. But at the end of the video, I asked, hey, should I do another set of APIs? And there was overwhelming response, yes. So I'll probably do the service APIs next, service and networking.
Interesting. We try to think of all these great ideas in our head, and then we'll actually do something like this, meaning your workload APIs. It's like, oh, that's what people actually want to see.
Yeah, but it's kind of, it's a mixture, right? And then I go freaky into some like right now I'm obsessed with something that probably 5 people on the planet know about. It's called Clusterpedia. Right? You heard about Clusterpedia, Darin? You haven't probably, right? There we go. So I like doing material on those freaky things, but then every once in a while I unfreak myself, and that was that video. Yeah.
Again, Kubernetes is boring now. Yeah. That's what we want. That's what we want. Is there anything we want to take a look at? That's it. That's all I got today.
That's okay. We can be short 1 week.
So, well, okay. Speaking of which, I was looking ahead. We're going to be gone at least 1 week in May. And then I signed up. Oh, remember I told you I got in to speak at a conference here in town? I've got my 3 sessions.
You're actually the only speaker there.
No. So here's the funny thing. I honestly do not know how big the conference is. It's been going on for well over 10 years, probably closer to 20 now, I think. The hotel's already sold out. So,
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter because it's 45-minute drive for me.
You're driving. Yeah. Okay.
I'm driving, so it doesn't matter. But it's like, okay, what have I gotten myself into? Like, because I thought it was just a nice little local conference, no big deal. I don't know that I
What's the
totally
city?
understand. Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. No AI demos because I haven't been looking at any because it's almost like Kubernetes to me. It's just boring. It's like you can only generate so many. There's a couple of things I want to do, but I've got to think through them a little bit more that I just haven't had time. I'll go back to Kieran's. I'll try to answer this judiciously. And in case you're wondering what's going on in Jenkins, at the bottom of the next hour, so in about an hour from now, I've got another live stream talking about what's new in Jenkins LTS. So that should be part of the future of Jenkins. It just keeps rolling out every month, every 4 to 6 weeks, almost 20 years old. So it can already vote. It can't drink in the States.
Almost. So a
right.
year from now, Jenkins will change drastically, right?
I think it's going to be 2 years when it hits 21.
Okay.
I think this year is 19. I've lost track of the age. It's the community just keeps on building out. People still want to use it. I mean,
yeah.
It's there.
I mean,
and
it's
I'm
one
thankful.
of the most successful open source projects ever.
Yeah.
If you look at any parameters like usage, contributions, whatever you want to count, right? And it outlived many
lot.
other projects, right?
Yeah. It's if anybody from the day job is watching, I'm going to say this. Don't take it personal. Just like Kubernetes, Jenkins is boring, and that's a good thing. There are
Exactly.
things that are happening on the commercial side that are more interesting, if you will. But from an open source project perspective, it moves, I'm going to say at a reasonable pace. It's not slow, but it's at a reasonable pace.
Jenkins is conceptually very similar to Kubernetes, right? That in terms that I'm not following it that much now, but I would be surprised that much changed. That Jenkins itself is not changing much. Jenkins is not supposed to do much by itself, right? The add-ons, in case of Jenkins plugins, in case of Kubernetes, that would be CRDs and controllers, right? They're doing the work, right? They're extending it to be what it really should be, right?
You have to be careful with that because not everything should be a plugin, and not everything should be a CRD, right? And that's the key
but
part.
For
There's
example, when Jenkins when Jenkins switched to run, not switched, but enabled us to run agents in Kubernetes, that's a plugin. That's not something that was baked into Jenkins, right?
correct.
I mean, I'm using that as example, right?
Yeah. And that was another Carlos thing, by the way.
Another Carlos thing.
It's like, this is almost like a drinking game now. It's like, okay, how often do we mention Carlos and then what do we start drinking? I'm not sure. In fact, speaking of Carlos, we'll say this will be number 2. He actually did a retweet about the Joseph episode that we had 2 weeks ago. And it got quite an interesting bump. I'll just put it that way. So
Nice.
I guess that's
All
it.
those
Really-
people who are in social media, unlike the two of us, should do it.
Yeah, that's it, I guess. So we should. Are we here next week? Are you here next week? I can't remember if you're here. next-
I mean, not there. I'm here.
I've lost track.
Yes,
Well, yeah,
I
okay.
think so. Yeah. No, I'm not traveling for I don't know, a few weeks.
3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's middle of next month,
Something
I
like
think. Right? Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
I lost track. Okay. Anyway, short show today. If you have ideas for we've okay, I'm going to pull back the curtain just a little bit. We had a guest on yesterday from where was she from? Dynatrace.
Dynatrace.
Right. And we talked Dynatrace a little bit, but not Dynatrace like we would typically talk to a vendor. Let's just say when that episode comes out, I will go ahead and say it was her first time doing a podcast.
And it was good.
It was beyond good. It was amazing. So we'll leave that there. I think that comes out sometime in June. We've got some interesting guests lined up. We're getting ready to record some more of our solos. In case you haven't seen the pattern emerge this year, I'll go ahead and also pull this curtain back. I'm being very conscious in scheduling every other week where it's just me and Victor. One of the reasons is just so you're not being blasted with vendors or other people all the time. That's sort of on purpose. The second part of it is it's a heck of a lot easier for me to edit when it's just me and Victor, even if it's video, than it is having just even a third person in. So that helps me actually edit faster a little bit anyway. I'm still not up to the point to where I can edit at 3x. I'm safely at 2x, but I can't do 3x yet. Whew. Okay. So anyway, you will all be back next week. Everybody that's here should be back. By the way, we're still on Twitter again this week, or X, depending on how you do it. So I'm still just sending it out to YouTube and X. We'll see how that plays out. Doesn't cost me anything extra. But here's the thing, is if you're interested in Jenkins at all, join me in an hour over on the Cloudbees TV channel on YouTube. And we're going to be talking about that. That'll be a short show today too, because it was the .3, which is before the next big bump happens. So again, when you go through a 1, 2, 3 release, if you think about it, let's talk Kubernetes. So what we had was 130, probably a .1, if you were to look at the depths of it. If you think about the .1, .2, .3, by the time you head out towards beyond .2, it had better be boring.
Oh yeah.
That's what you want. Is like, because we're headed to the next big bump, right? So that's what we'll be talking about today. Anything else? Should I do some AI next week? That's what I was going to ask. If you have ideas as you're watching this of stuff you want us to talk about either on the podcast or here, or you want to see us do a live thing, I enjoy doing the live things. I just haven't had time to prep stuff recently. Let us know over in Slack. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would help us out, because the better we can serve you, the better content that we'll enjoy. Because when we know we're solving a problem for somebody else, I'm speaking for myself, hopefully speaking for Victor, when we're solving something for somebody else, it makes our job actually a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
It's like, because we're walking towards, we're going to work on this. Okay, I got my guardrails. I can go this way. And then it's done. Is that true for you, Victor, or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't have to tell us what to do. It's like, how about this? That is like, that'll help. And the answer sometimes might be no, right? It's like, how do we set up Kubernetes to run on a SpaceX rocket so we can take, no.
Yeah, I can tell you immediately, kind of one big red line, at least for me, is anything that I cannot run locally or in cloud is out.
Yeah.
And if I need to set up some servers here next to my desk, it's not happening. It's not happening at all.
No. Okay. Well, thanks everybody, and we will see you again next week. And since I'm not ready, I have to get all the buttons back in place. So we'll talk to you again next week, and thanks for joining us live today. Have a great weekend.